Welcome to Cake Playground, where it's all about the fun. This lesson is on how to make the perfect golden butter cake. Doesn't that look yummy? It would be a great birthday cake or wedding cake. Gather your equipment. You'll need measuring cups and spoons, as well as sugar, all-purpose flour, buttermilk, unsalted butter, salt, vanilla, baking powder, baking soda, and 4 eggs. You will also need 2 8-inch cake pans and parchment, as well as a mixer. Let's prepare your pans. What you're going to do is trace around your 8-inch pan with a pencil onto parchment and cut out the circle. Once you have the circle cut out, put it into your pan. Then you're going to spray with nonstick spray on the side and bottom to ensure nonstick. If it lifts a little bit, press it down. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. You will need 2 sticks of unsalted butter, that is 1 cup. Cut the butter into small chunks, about 16, but it doesn't have to be exact. You're going to crack 4 large eggs into a bowl. I'm going to show you the best way to crack an egg. What you want to do is hold the egg in your hand and give a medium crack on the counter. You'll see the crack there. Now place both your thumbs into the crack and pull the egg halves apart. Now you're going to take this egg and pour it into another bowl. To show you why we need another bowl, here I'm going to make a mistake, and we get some eggshells into the bowl and the yolk cracks. Now by doing the separate bowls, I don't mess up my other eggs. I can remove my eggshells, and if I was separating for whites, I wouldn't have to worry about the yolk and the whites. Now we're going to combine the dry ingredients together in the mixing bowl. So you start with your mixer. You're going to need 2 1/4 cups all-purpose flour. So scoop it lightly into the cup with a spoon and use the back side straight edge of the spoon to level and put it in the mixing bowl. You will also need 1 1/2 cups white granulated sugar. You're going to measure and level off the cup in the same way and put it in the bowl. Next, we need 1/2 teaspoon baking soda. Level it on the box and put it in the bowl. You will also need 1 1/2 teaspoon baking powder. Level on the can and put in the bowl. You will need 1/2 teaspoon salt. Notice that I'm measuring away from the bowl and leveling away from the bowl, so I don't level the excess salt into my recipe. Level it off, put it in the bowl. Go ahead and turn on the mixer so you can mix the dry ingredients together. Next, we're going to mix in the butter chunks. You'll notice here the butter consistency is kind of like plastic. It's soft, but it's not melted. So go ahead and mix the butter chunks in with the motor running on the mixer. Notice how the consistency changes from large chunks like this until the consistency of wet sand. When you get this consistency, stop the mixer. See? Let's combine the wet ingredients in a measuring cup. Measure 1/2 cup buttermilk. It helps to look at the side of the cup to make sure your measurement's accurate. 2 teaspoons vanilla. Now notice I'm doing a bad thing here measuring over my cup, and I'll show you why in a minute. My vanilla over pours. That's a bad thing. But you're a good kid and you won't do it. Go ahead and put your eggs into the measuring cup and mix with a fork. You want to make sure that you break up all the little egg yolks and mix until everything's combined. So just stir your little heart away. There you go, it's all combined. Let's combine the wet ingredients with the dry ingredients. Turn on your mixer and we're going to pour about half of the wet ingredients into the mixing bowl. After a few seconds, you're going to turn up the speed of the mixer. This allows the wet ingredients to better incorporate with the dry ingredients. Notice the change in texture. It looks kind of light and fluffy now. We're going to stop the mixer and scrape down the sides and make sure that you go all the way to the bottom. After scraping, you're going to lift your bowl up, restart the mixer, and mix in the other half of the wet ingredients. Now there's really only a few seconds between each one of these steps. You don't really want to let your mixer run too long, particularly once you add the wet ingredients into the dry. Now I'm going to stop the mixer here and show you. See, there's a little bit of wet ingredients not incorporated. So we'll stop the mixer and again scrape down the sides all the way to the bottom. I really want to stress how important it is to scrape down the sides of your bowl. You'll get a much, much better result. So after about a few seconds, take the bowl off the mixer. Go ahead and just scrape the paddle off with your fingers. It's easier. And do one final mix and scrape all the way down to the bottom with your spatula. Scrape the batter into the pans. Make sure to use your spatula to get all of the batter into the pans, and maybe a lick or two for yourself. If the pans don't have the same amount of batter, adjust. And then use your spatula to even out the batter in the pans. Then you're going to put the pans into the preheated oven. Make sure to put them on the middle rack, evenly spaced from the sides and each other. The cakes are going to bake 20 to 30 minutes. Go ahead and set your timer for 20 minutes. And then, after 20 minutes, we're going to check for doneness. You'll see here that this cake is not close to being done. This one, however, is. It's brown on the edges, pulled away. It springs back a little bit, and we're going to test with a toothpick. But see here, the toothpick comes out wet, so we're going to leave it in here for another 5 minutes and retest. And now it looks perfect. Take the cake out of the oven and put it on a wire rack to cool. After the cakes have cooled about 10 minutes, we're going to unmold them. So loosen the side of the cake from the pan with a knife. Put a cardboard on top of the pan, invert it, pull off the parchment, re-invert it back onto the wire, and let it cool some more till it's completely cool. I'm going to show you what the finished cake looks like with frosting, and we also have this recipe on YouTube and our website, cakeplayground.com. Please come to cakeplayground.com for more lessons, recipes, and links. At Cake Playground, it's all about the fun.